Welcome to episode 68 of It's a Podcast. I'm Brock, and with me as always is Brooks.
What up, what up?
Not much. Thankfully, I think to a degree, the Olympics are over for another 4 years.
Well, the Summer Olympics.
Summer Olympics, yeah. Now we have the Summer Paralympics.
Oh,
I think
right.
they start this week sometime for 2 weeks.
I believe so.
And they usually, yeah, I don't know about over there, but like here you'll have the Olympics on like the main channel. So let's for argument's sake here it's channel 9. So you'll have it on channel 9. And then the Paralympics will go and they just boot them to the like the second, like 9 plus or 9 go or not, the secondary channel.
That seems generous because I can't find it anywhere, and NBC has a plethora of channels they could put it on over here. I can't find that shit anywhere.
So that's on, and then obviously in 2 years' time there'll be the Winter Olympics wherever that's held, where there's snow, I guess.
That's a great question. I have no idea. I wanted to say Sochi, but that's because they did it, I think, very recently. There's no way it's Sochi again.
So that's something we don't have to worry about wasting money on because we'll never.
Yeah, I don't think it could really work.
We'll never get it. Like we have snow, but not not that much. I guess that
not
warrants
snowboarding and skiing.
Yeah, and the fact that you need actual facilities to do the events. We didn't have that. I think our aerial skiers, the ones that go up the ramp and do all the twists and turns and then land. I'm pretty sure elsewhere in the world they actually do that in snow. Here they come off a fake ramp and they do it in the water.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how they practice.
It seems like terrible practice. Water and snow do not interact the same. I know they're the same thing.
Well, yeah.
Jumping off of snow versus a ramp into the water is a lot different than hitting the rock hard snow.
So I think overseas they'd probably, practice in the actual conditions they're going to be.
Yeah, I would think so.
But here, they do it off a ramp into, a body of water. But I was going to say, do you know what the biggest loser of the Olympics was apart from Tom Cruise?
Ooh. He is the biggest loser. He is the absolute biggest loser.
He was a bigger loser.
I have a
not a person. No.
Oh, interesting. Well, okay.
By proxy, I think it was a person. Made it the biggest loser. The breakdancing.
Mm-hmm.
First time in the Olympics.
Idea, man.
Well, I don't know.
On paper, it was a good idea. On paper, it was a good idea.
If the person we're about to talk about didn't take away the limelight from the actual people that won, apparently, because I haven't watched anything else than, well, we're going to be talking about Raygun.
Yes, the video.
She is the only competitor I've seen footage of in the breakdancing. So she overshadowed the gold, silver, and bronze medalists for both B-boy and B-girls.
I did see the one clip, basically to your point, I would say, of people being like, everyone's focused on this terrible performance. Look at, maybe I want to say South Korea, I could be wrong, but I saw that and I was like, oh, it's pretty good. It's like, but again, too bad, too sad. Like, this didn't work. Like, I give them credit for taking a shot. On paper, it seemed like a cool idea. Come on now. If we're doing breakdancing, like, let WWE in, because they keep bitching about that on Twitter too.
No, but that's the thing. It would have worked if if her performance didn't overshadow the whole thing. Because
also too, they get screwed. Like, we'll get into it, but they do get screwed by like the other sports coming in LA in 2028. Like, flag football will always be much more entertaining than breakdancing.
Every Olympics, host city gets to choose as what comes in.
Yes.
So Paris would have said, "Oh yeah, we'll go with B-boy, B-girl breakdancing," and then obviously there's a time frame to choose things, to get things organised. So regardless of whether it was good or bad, it probably wasn't going to, like you said, get up because
No, the
for
decision was made.
2028 because yeah, but it's an athletic sport. It's athletic.
Oh,
It's probably more
absolutely.
athletic than some of the other sports that are
Oh,
considered
100%.
sports. But
100%.
it would be like any sport, I guess, if you focused on the person that came last
Right.
and only focused on them.
Absolutely.
You look like if that Sheila in the boxing,
Yup.
the what was she, Tehran, Iran, whatever,
Armenian, I
Armenian,
think? No,
or yeah,
that's not right.
whatever,
Algeria.
Algeria, yeah. If she hadn't have won the gold,
Yep.
you wouldn't know who the gold medal winner was because she would have the whole thing would have overshadowed the lead up to it.
That story definitely.
And the other,
Definitely.
the Taiwanese or whatever the other boxer that was
Oh,
a
yep.
bit iffy on gender,
What
old Raygun. She's
an awful name too.
yeah. Look, I'm not a big Seinfeld fan, but she probably watched Seinfeld and saw Elaine do the dance, the really bad dance, and said, "Hold my beer."
Hold my beer. It was like hold my 30 pack. I mean, Lane's was like,
He danced like an uncle that was drunk.
oh my God, I've seen my drunk uncle dance better than her. The one move where she's like on the ground, like on her side, and like bringing her arms into her leg. I was like, this looks like a stretch I would do before like gym class. I was like, what is going on here?
I think she did about one or two moves that it's like, I couldn't do that. Like they
Of
were
course,
actually,
I'm
but they
not
were
saying that.
bad.
Absolutely.
Like she only held them for split seconds,
Yes.
a couple of seconds, if that. It's like, okay, look, she did that. I couldn't do that. But everything else I could do pretty much, I think.
Yeah.
I could lie on the side
Yeah.
and spin around like a top. I could do a kangaroo. I could do a sprinkler.
Right, right. That would have looked better. Like a cool break dancer, like they're spinning around like crazy. This person was basically using their legs to walk around in the circle while on the ground. It's like, well, it's like, again, like you said, it's like that I could probably find a way to try. Maybe I could do it. Maybe it wouldn't look as smooth. I understand that. I honestly don't even knock all of it on the performance. Yes, the performance is very, very bad. I think it was the social media stuff after that.
Well, I always have or not always have an argument, but over the years I've had an argument with my brother. It's like, why do you go to the Olympics and come last? It's like I could go there and come last.
Yes.
You know,
However, we don't train for our whole lives
yeah,
for it.
that's the thing. Like, but with this, anyone can go there and get 0 out of 18 for that.
For sure.
Like, you're not sending. Like, let's say the 100 meters. What's the 100 meters? 10 seconds around that, under 10 if you're Usain Bolt?
Believe so. Noah Lyles had like a crazy run in one of them.
Yeah. So everyone that's in the 100 meters is doing around 10, 11s, and then probably 12s. Would that be at the
Right.
work?
I would probably say.
So the last person is still pretty quick compared to your average
Exactly.
man or woman.
Right. Like finishing last isn't this like huge knock on somebody.
Yeah. So obviously, if I went, I'd finish last, but I'd finish last by a hell of a lot.
You're correct.
They'd be up on the podium, and I'd still be coming around the last bend. Or not the last bend because it's 100 meters, but I'd be still coming down the straight. But that's another thing. People are like, well, why send her if she was that far off the pace of everyone? And she even said, "Oh, I knew I wasn't going to win anything."
Not a great answer.
No, yeah, people go there like on the day. I might get up, someone might fall over, someone could be injured. I'm in the ballpark, sort of thing.
Yes.
I've qualified. Like she did qualify, but it's like just
Of
because
course.
you qualified doesn't mean, yeah,
No.
you have to
Especially
go.
in that sport. Honestly, it's not like qualifying for the Team USA basketball team. Her attitude of being like, "Oh, well, I wasn't gonna win anything." It'd be like, "Shut the." That'd be like, "Then don't go." Like, so in the U.S., our taxpayer dollars go towards these athletes. If one of our
Same here.
athletes is like, "Yeah, I don't really think I can. I don't think I'm gonna win anything," it'd be like, "Well, get this fucker off the team. Like, give me somebody who's gonna say we're gonna win gold. I don't care if you come up short." That loser mentality, I do not like at all. It's pity play. It's a pity play. She wants people to feel bad for her. Like we're not supposed to make fun of her. Like if she catches wind of this, we're fucked. Now, granted, I'll be dancing on, my business after that, but it might look a little. Maybe she'll learn a thing or two. It's all a pity play, and that's what pissed me off right from the jump.
Well, there's a lot of conspiracies about it too.
Well, so I was gonna say, do you know anything about this? Because I've seen this as well.
Vaguely, she's a
Same.
lecturer at some university in New South Wales or
Shocking.
Sydney or whatever, and she's got a PhD in dance or break dance, hip hop culture, or it's something to do with dance in urban thingies. But she's got a
I
PhD
would
in it.
love if there's a PhD in hip hop culture and that woman has it. If she has one, I deserve one.
So she's like, a lot of people are like, well, after this, you can't be teaching anyone because no one's going to listen to what you have to say.
Absolutely not.
But there is a conspiracy or word on the internet is like, okay, it's like you said, taxpayers fund the trip to go over there to
Mm-hmm.
compete. And she's getting paid, obviously, as a lecturer PhD. So her job, she's getting paid for a job. She's getting a free trip over to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
She'll probably use her experience in the competition to write a thesis or something to get
Oh, of
a
course.
grant or to get, you know, it's all sort of a just, she's just there for the experience to, get that moolah.
Yeah, oh, yeah. So I'm so glad my taxpayer money would go to somebody who's just there for the experience. Dickhead.
Her husband and her were part of the committee that set up
Yes.
the trials.
The trials, right.
I don't know if her husband was on the judging panel, but there was like 9
That
people. So
sounds
some people,
familiar.
yeah. So, but some people are like, well, there's 9 people. So, even if he was biased towards her, you've got 8 others to level it out. But the fact, and I've heard other people say, yeah, but they've organised it. So they'd be like, you organising a rap battle, but you're
Mhm.
participating in it as well. Like, like there's a
Yeah,
bit of conflict of interest, maybe.
I agree with that, especially if you're running it. I have a feeling they might or she might be the one picking these potential judges. Like, I don't know what that process is like.
Yeah. Well, apparently the other judges were b-boy, b-girls as well.
And they saw that and said, "Yes, we're sending our best."
Well, she didn't do that thing. That's the thing.
Oh, good.
The person that she beat said, she qualified fair and square, but
Okay.
then the person that she beat said, the female that she beat in the Oceania said, "Oh, when she came out and did that performance and that routine, I was a bit disappointed. That probably wasn't the way to go." But then apparently there's footage have come out of this other girl dancing, not at the qualifiers, but just I think in the street or whatever, or it might have been at other qualifications or other tournaments. People are like, "Hey, look, she's not Olympic grade, but she's a hell of a lot better than Raygun. Why didn't she get picked?" Yeah, the memes are crazy, and then you've got the ballroom dancing aspect of it as well,
Oh boy.
because apparently the dancing organization or the world, some world dancing thing, everyone, or not everyone, but they wanted to get ballroom into the Olympics,
Oh,
but they didn't think
why?
ballroom dancing would be as popular as breakdancing.
Let's stay away from the dancing when we're dancing.
They went with breakdancing, and then that put all the ballroom dancing people's nose out of joint. And then now the fact that Raygun has performed as badly as she did, regardless of what genre of dance, it's like, well, that's probably killed, dance in the future, regardless of whether it's breakdancing. Well, I think
Any
the only thing
dancing.
that'll probably ever get up would be pole dancing.
Ooh.
Like there's people that have been for years, I can remember, pole dancing should be in the Olympics. Pole dancing should be in the Olympics.
I mean, I can't pole dance, and I imagine it takes a lot. Now, granted, we had, people on Twitter being like, "How disgusting are these men commenting on these beach volleyball bikinis?" And I was like, okay, well, if we want pole dancing, and once again, these disgusting men are absolutely going to be judging on that basis.
Well, while you're on uniforms and performing, that was another thing they ripped Raygun on. All the other b boys and b girls came out in sort of like streetwear,
Mhm.
she went out in the Australian national team uniform tracksuit.
Yeah.
So
What's
you
that
look
about?
daggy from the start. You're
Yes.
36, you're not 66. The fact she was throwing up, not gang signs, but sort of like, you know,
Well, I was waiting for it. I was like, maybe that will save this performance if she starts crip walking.
try and beat that. Yeah, sort of thing with a.
At
Just
least then
like,
I would have been like,
no,
okay, she's leaning into it. But like, it was the whole thing afterwards. She's like, well, I'm very anxious. You can't make fun of me. I was like, well, no, you're an Olympic athlete. You are very much
no, you can make
able
fun
to
of
be made
me.
fun of.
Well, Snoop did
Like, yeah,
indirectly.
right,
Did you see his
right.
post?
Yeah, he was not thrilled.
He posted all like vision of all the other breakdancers. She wasn't included, and she said, "Oh, the breakdancers that got the assignment or that knew their assignment or whatever."
I agree with all of it. I agree with all of it. I think it's very stupid the way she went about it. I think this was salvageable if she was like, "Yeah, I struggled, had fun with it." And then I just saw a clip, she was on Jimmy Fallon, and it's like, "Okay, so now you
No, it
lean
wasn't
into it."
her. That wasn't her.
Oh, good. I didn't watch I just
That
saw
was
the
someone
headline.
taking the piss out of her. Yeah.
Oh, so that makes it even worse then. That makes it 100% worse. Jimmy Fallon is the biggest hack on God's green earth.
Mm. The only people that have really crazily stuck up for her is the whatever term they give like the leader of the Olympic team, but they're not an athlete. Like they usually can be a former athlete or whatever.
Yes.
So like a certain not sounds similar to
Or
Cirque du Soleil or whatever, but it
captaincy.
has some
Right.
weird name. Yeah,
Yes.
she went out and did a whole sort of like a pity thing. Oh, she's in a male dominated sport. And she's used to do this, and all the trolls online. It's like, yeah, nah.
It's dancing. I understand that argument for some sports, it's fucking dancing. I know plenty of great women dancers. I know plenty of bad man dancers. Me.
So yeah, she went out and defended her, and then obviously her husband and her father-in-law got on Facebook and
Oh
said something
god.
like, "Oh, the judges were looking for a different style," and then they're like,
Oh,
comments are
you mean
like, "Looking
breakdancing?
for a different style, looking for our style,"
Something.
and then even like the person that she beat, sort of to get into the final, she was defending her as much. Oh, she did win to get there.
Yeah, I think you kinda have to, because then if you don't, people would be like, "Oh, it's just sour grapes because you lost."
Yeah, I was personally disappointed in the routine she chose.
Well, you know what? I like this chick then.
Kudos for being true to herself, for being herself. She's has a quirky style. Da 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 da.
Yeah, quirky's certainly a word.
That's about it. And then apparently other break dancers are getting copying it online.
Oh god.
So it's tarnished the whole sport
It
and the
really has.
whole community and culture of breakdancing.
I feel for her in that sense, like, yes, it probably sucks to become an internet meme, but again, she did herself no favors. Like we said, once that article came out that said breakdancing's gone, it's flag football in 2028, she's like, well, this seems a little premature, doesn't it? It's like, well, no, this decision was made in 2023 when LA had to put in what sports they wanted. So she's just coming off as like bitter and angry at us for her having a bad performance and commenting on it is basically the vibe I'm getting from her.
Well, some people think she knew what she was doing, so that's why she did what she did
I could see that. I could see that. She seems I mean, you said she's a teacher, so she's in academia.
in
Would
her
it
own little
shock
world.
me that she's trying to make this big statement and be like, "Look how strong and powerful and brave I am." Be like, "No, you're a moron who can't dance, and now you're upset that you're being made fun of on the internet."
Well, even one of the judges, I think, for the competition, like at the Olympics, said, "Oh, there's I don't know if there's 5 or 6 different categories you get judged in: musicality, moves, da da da, all different things."
Mhm.
And he said she scored zeros, whatever. Just because she scored zeros and didn't get any points doesn't mean that she was bad. Just means she didn't meet the criteria.
I believe the definition of 0 is bad.
Yeah, but wouldn't you? It can't get any worse unless you
Right.
pinpoint being late or doing something absurd. But wouldn't you think you'd be like, okay, this is the criteria. Well, these are the rules. I better try and you know adhere to this so I can, even though I don't think I'm going to win.
She's a strong, independent queen who went about her own way, I guess.
We have disowned her. The only way you'd want to be associated is if you can make a buck off her.
I thought you guys are going to really defend her, and then the first bunch of comments were a bunch of Australians being like, "Fuck this person."
Well, no, well, here in Australia, we have, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, the tall poppy syndrome.
No, it sounds like a Napoleon complex, though, when you put it that way.
Well, you guys are a bit different. Like, you get your, let's say, your sport heroes or someone makes good. You're like, rah, rah, yeah, good for them.
Of
Go
course,
for it. You've done it. You've come from nothing, or you're living your best life.
of course.
Here, sometimes we'll have that, but we'll be like, oh, the, tall poppy. So what do you do with a tall poppy? You cut it down.
You guys aren't dicks.
Yeah, so we'll be like, won 2 gold medals, thinks she's crash hot
What else?
or whatever. Yeah, look at her strutting around like she's. So we'll sort of talk down the people that have made achievements if they, we'll try and put them back in their place, sort of thing.
And bring up the people who stink.
Yeah, no, not bring up people that stink, but that's usually what would happen. So if she went out there, killed it, did the breakdancing, and then did a whole circuit of interviews and got big, there's probably people come back like, yeah, but anyone can dance like that, or oh, my father could dance like that. He's not getting the. There'd be people that would say that. But no, if you do something and embarrass Australia on the world stage,
Ooh.
you're gonna get roasted.
Especially when you're wearing the outfit. Like, it made it very clear which country we were roasting.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
damn.
and the fact she did a kangaroo as well, dance in it,
That just seemed I I
some,
don't have a word for it. Like,
something that resembled a
corny
snake.
doesn't fit it.
The sprinkler.
That's insane. Like you said, that's a drunk uncle move.
She's also extended her trip as well, so she didn't come back with the team on the plane.
Probably didn't let her.
No, true, but
Find your own way out.
so it's like, oh, you extended your trip. Oh, you must be like, I don't know if we're paying for that as taxpayers or if she's like,
Ooh, you guys better
she's
not
still
be.
got the return ticket to go back. I was reading there's a tier system on the way back. So gold medalists get to picking up the front of the plane.
That's
It's all a good seat.
hilarious.
Then, or it's either
That's
gold
hilarious.
medalists or medalists. I can't remember if they're all included or it's gold, then silver, then bronze.
I'd have to imagine just
And
medalists.
yeah. And then after that, it's like people that have been to 2 or more Olympics.
Oh, like seniority or whatever.
Yeah. And then after that, it's
Gotcha.
everyone else. If it's your first
I like that.
Olympics,
I like that.
because the reason I saw that is because a story came up, and the 14-year-old that we mentioned last week that won the gold for
Yes. Yep.
skateboarding,
Yep.
she gave up her seat in, what is it, business or whatever the highest was. I
Yeah.
don't think it was
First
first class.
business. Yeah. Whatever. Maybe.
Yeah. The people interviewing her on the radio said, "Oh, you would have been sitting up the front of the plane. How was that? Because you're a gold medalist." Because, "Oh, no,
Yeah.
I didn't. I went and sat back in economy." I'm like, "What? Why'd you do that?" She said, "Oh, because I wanted to sit with my friends." Because 2 of the
Oh,
skateboarders
oh,
were
yeah.
her actual
Yeah.
friends.
No, that makes a shit ton. At 14 years of age.
We're like, "Oh, we love you more," sort of thing. That's cool. So someone got her seat. So I don't know whether Raygun has whether she's got a return ticket that we as taxpayers in Australia have paid for, or
Oh,
whether she's
God.
doing it off her own coin.
You know how much of a hole that would burn in my ass? If I find out Jason Tatum's extending his stay and I'm paying for it, I'm like, fuck you.
You paid for him to sit on the bench and do nothing. So yeah.
I mean, seriously. Hey, you had a bunch of claps though.
Well, the funny thing is, I think will be the thing is when she comes back, it'll be interesting to see whether she does do the circuit. Like, will people want to interview her? All the the arty farty fake news shows sort of want to say, "Oh, you've got a bit of flack online and the online trolling and this and that."
Yes, those will be the only interviews she lands. Like, I would love to interview her. However, it's not gonna be this softball and be like, "You're so courageous." I'm gonna be like, "You're the Megan Rapinoe of Australia, and your whole country hates you, like, just because you were obnoxious. Explain it."
I don't watch those shows, so I don't know if she's already done that via Tellylink.
Interesting. I bet she has. Oh, feel bad for me. It's a pity party. She's throwing a pity party, and it's disgusting. You're an Olympic athlete. There's no excuse to do whatever the f that move was on your side. I could do that. I do that in my sleep.
And the and also the fact that most Olympians are in their probably late teens, early 20s. You've got the outliers in the,
Of course,
obviously
certain sports.
you can be a shooter or you can ride a horse and
Yes, yes, at any
until
age, of course.
you're old. Yeah, so the majority of them are very young. So they're in the, oh, you can't say bad things to people or you can't roast people kind of frame. You got to be this, you got to be that. So at the closing ceremony, prior to them entering the actual stadium, they got her to dance and they sort of did a guard of honor for her, the Australian team. Like, yeah, it was just like, will we support her? And it's like,
I
well,
would've walked away if I was on Team Australia. I've been like, "I'm not participating in this." No, it's like, "I'm leaving."
I'd be like doing a homer into the bushes.
Fuck that. Also, I don't know how that metal thing would work on the Team USA planes. I think it'd be pretty fucking tight.
Yeah, I think most of them have their own private jet. They don't even live in the village when they're there.
Yeah, of course not, they're probably living in the Eiffel Tower. I don't think you could live in the Eiffel Tower, but it's the most expensive thing in France I could think of. But like you said, finally the Olympics are done, so we don't have any more Olympic stories moving forward.
And I think we'll finish on that.
Yep.
Links in the description if you want to check us out for anything. If you want more of Brooks, he's on the Wrap It Up podcast. Also, I think I'll put the link in the description. If not, you can check him out on Podbean app and on
And we
Spotify.
show up if
And
you look up Wrap It Up Podcast now. There's only one person who used to post in 2018 that still has our name. We show up first now.
yeah, and that's rap with a W too.
Damn right, like the sandwich.
Okay, so until next week, take it easy.
Peace.